Hello and welcome to Disc Review, the podcast that goes track by track through a different album each week.
And we're your hosts, Max and Matt. Join us as we explore some of our favorite records.
No, I'm a fan, I swear.
I feel like I've become a music normie.
I'm tired of being Mr. Positive guy.
Dude, that's not humor.
This is certifiably the most boring album I've ever heard.
And there's a reason they don't do it, because it's terrible.
We hope you enjoy the show. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to Disc Review, everybody. Thank you for coming back. Today we're talking about Neck Deep. Matt, you chose this album. Why did this album come to mind?
You know, they dropped a new song, and it was on my release radar, and I saw Neck Deep, and I thought, wow, there's a Neck Deep album I've been wanting to talk about, so I thought this might be the week. It's The Peace and the Panic. This is from 2017. This record came out at a time that I just needed new music, and I got pretty into it. I think it's a solid record. I'm excited to talk about it. Do you have any experience with Neck Deep? Do you know anything about them?
I only have a little bit of experience when you showed them to me when we were teenagers. I guess if this came out in 2017, we were 18 at that point. So yeah, you showed me some of the songs. I remember liking a few of them, but I never really got into them, and I wouldn't say I've gone through the whole record before this. So it was kind of a new experience for me, except for a few of the songs which I remembered.
Yeah, I got a little bit into their first record and liked some of that. And I don't know, they just got a unique style. As anyone who listens to Neck Deep knows, their singer is really unique. He's doing a very sometimes goofy sounding voice, but you know, that's kind of the appeal. It's kind of the charm. And
yeah, there's definitely a style here that is very it's very of the genre, but also it's, you know, you can pick Neck Deep out of a group.
I like it. I'm just saying, like, I know some
bands.
people could be, you know, turned off by it and not love the style, but it's clear he's doing it on purpose, and I like it.
Well, let's talk about this album art a little bit. It's very comic book looking. I like the colors and the art style. I'm trying to look at what's even going on here. The picture I have is kind of small, but what do you think about this?
I mean, yeah, I love any like drawing artwork is usually my favorite. I just think there's so much you can do, and I kind of like it when it's packed full of imagery. A lot of this record has to do with like some themes, especially with Happy Judgment Day, about like fear of nuclear warfare, and I think there's another song talking about, you know, the bombs have dropped or something in this like stylized kind of old retro sounding voice. Anyways, all to say, that's kind of the theme they're going for, and they have that on this album art. They've got that explosion. They've got some like 50s, 60s imagery with some old school TVs. I kind of like one little thing is there's a like billboard for like a building or something that says The Grand Illusion, which is one of their tracks. I just think it's cool to incorporate, you know, some songs on the record into the art.
Yeah, I can definitely see attention to detail here. I like on the side where it says peace, there's kind of like a utopia city that's like all shiny and pretty, and then on the panic there's just like explosions. So it's very interesting looking, and I like it.
Jumping into the track by track.
Well, let's jump in here. We got the first track is Motion Sickness. It's a pretty high energy song. I think they have a ton of fun on the guitar. I think this is a song I like to jam out to when I'm feeling that high energy and I want to just rock out. I think it goes pretty hard.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've listened to like pop punk, but I think I'm starting to like it more than I did as a kid. I never really got into bands like this, but as I'm getting older, you know, the sounds that appeal to me are, broader and broader, and I think I just am getting it a little bit more now. I think this is a fun track. I love the guitars. The closest thing I have to compare this to is like Make Out, which we reviewed a little while ago.
Another pop punk,
Yeah, so I don't have a ton of experience with pop punk, but I did think that this song was pretty fun.
I got my fair share of pop punk. I also listened to State Champs, which are pretty similar.
I actually, for some reason, I get Neck Deep and State Champs kind of confused.
They basically make the same music, but one's, I think State Champs is more American. Are these guys British?
I don't know.
Anyways, I'll say they do make very similar music, so I totally get that. Yeah, they're from Wales. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Anyways, the next track is Happy Judgment Day, It, like I said, is pretty strongly influenced by nuclear warfare, end of the world, apocalypse kind of imagery. Not my favorite track. I think there's like, if I'm going to go for a just high energy pop punk song, I think there's some tracks I like better, including the one just before it, but it's a perfectly fine song.
Yeah, this one definitely has a little bit more of that political messaging, if you can even call it that. I mean, I think it's kind of weird that when someone comes out and says like, "Hey, we don't like dropping bombs," that's kind of like something political
stance,
to say. Like,
yeah. But I don't really feel like it was. I don't know. I feel like some people like to just evoke that imagery, but not really. They're not really trying to make a huge statement. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't feel like this album was super political, even though it does talk about like warfare on a few different tracks. But it's at least at the, there's a little bit of it in there. He keeps saying though that we almost had it. That's one line that kind of got me, where he was saying like, we almost had. I guess he was referring to like some sort of peaceful utopia. We almost had it. But I just don't really know what he's talking about, because I feel like we have never almost had it.
It's never been perfect. No. Yeah. Yeah. Don't glorify just what you thought something was like, especially when there's no way this man was alive to experience it.
Yeah, anyways. I mean, there's some definite themes of like nostalgia on some of these, and so that could be what he's referring to, like just saying like there was a time where I thought like everything was pretty good, only to find out that it's not. So I don't know. That could be what it's meaning.
Oh yeah, I don't have big problems with the song, just little nitpicks. Anyways, the next track is The Grand Illusion. I think this song's fun. It just comes out with a cool refrain about wanting to be anyone else but me, and I just think a lot of people who listen to this kind of music probably relate to that, and you kind of get in your feels a little bit.
Yeah, so this is a little nitpicky, but I remember being able to relate to songs like this more when I was a kid. Yeah, and that phrase in particular, you're talking about, "I'd rather be anyone else but me." There's something about being a teenager that, at least for me, felt exactly like everyone else had it figured out. Yeah.
Everyone else had it better.
Yeah, I don't know. As I got older, I kind of found that, like, for me at least, like, accepting myself and accepting my life made me a lot happier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's strange to listen to this. A lot of pop punk is
for teenagers, truly.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it, but yeah, it's not really a message. It's really just for teenagers that are going to relate to that. I'm just saying that I think I liked that line as a teenager, but yeah, I don't really need it or care for it now.
Yeah, but I get it. Like I also felt that way as a kid. So like it's a very relatable topic, just not so much to me anymore.
Yeah, I get it. Next track is Parachute. I really like this track too. Just some great guitar, some great melodies. I don't know, just a fun song to jam out to.
Yeah, I definitely had fun with this one, and a lot of these I had a lot of fun with, even though, I mean, this is another kind of a small, I guess, like last week we talked about metalcore, and you were kind of asking questions because, to you don't really get that genre. It's not really you. You don't understand the whole of the appeal, I guess. And for me, I think it's kind of the same with pop punk, is like I like it to an extent. But there's something about like the way it's sung so nasally and like with an angry attitude. I guess it just leaves me feeling like I don't know, like it doesn't feel like it's for me. But what do you think about that singing style?
I don't know. It's not always my favorite, but Neck Deep has had some stuff where the singer has really added a lot to the emotion of the song. And there's some other songs I could talk about on some other records, and there are some emotional songs later in this record, which I think we'll have a lot more fun to talk about. But I mean, yeah, it's very much like you're driving in your car, jamming out with your friends or something, and it's just kind of, I don't know. That's how I feel about a lot of these tracks, where it's just kind of high energy guitar. I get what you mean though.
It's really not the lyrics either, because like the lyrics are very like melancholy, but I like that style of lyrics in almost any genre I listen to. It's more of like the sound of it. It takes it from like a contemplative place to like more of a whiny place. And some people really like that. And I think that am not one of those people.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe sometimes there's like things about a style that just like immediately turns people away from it, and that's why they never get into it. And if you just happen to already be okay with that, you'll get deeper in. I really think there's a lot there, because maybe you're just immediately turned off by screaming, but maybe you like it and you get deeper and deeper into that kind of music, or you immediately think that this nasally singing is annoying and you just never listen to it. That's probably
there's
how
definitely something to that.
how you get into that, to different genres. 100%. I don't know. Songs like this I'm just having fun with, but I've never really been bothered by that style of singing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, a lot of people aren't, so that's why I'm bringing it up more as like a interesting thought more than a complaint.
Oh, I get it. The next track is In Bloom. Yeah, this is the one where it's like kind of got an opening about an atomic bomb, and I find it a little bit weird because I don't feel like the lyrics of the song have really anything to do about it.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like that, like I don't. Also, what is In Bloom? This is a dumb question to ask on a podcast. Like, what is In Bloom like a phrase? Am I missing something? I like the song.
Bloom.
It's like catchy and it's got good lyrics. I just like, what does that mean? How have I listened to the song like 100 times and never asked that question?
I guess, like, to me, in bloom refers to like plants, right? When they're in bloom, that's when they're in their most beautiful state. They're really coming into their own. So I guess that's what it kind of meant to me. I was also wondering about this opening quote they have here. Is it a real quote or is it something they just made up? I can't tell because I don't know. Heard it anywhere else.
I think it's so easy to make like this retro sounding man talking in this voice.
Yeah.
Like it's like
exactly.
You never really know if it's real. We talked about this a little bit with the Linkin Park one where they did something pretty similar, but it seems like they did use a lot of real stuff. Anyways, this has a catchy chorus. This was one of the more popular songs, and I can just see why.
Yeah, I thought it had like the catchiest chorus.
Yeah, it's got a great chorus, 100%. Next track is "Don't Wait." Probably one of my least favorite because it's one of like the more heavy songs. It's also got a lot more of the political stuff. And I don't know. I wasn't that into the message. I don't know. How did you didn't capture me?
Well, I almost didn't even really focus on the message because I was so bewildered that they had Sam Carter on this song.
Who is he again?
He's the vocalist for Architects.
Oh, yeah, he's like screaming on this.
Yeah, he's Architects is like the most popular metalcore band. It like the metalcore community worships that band to no end. So it's just funny that they're on this track because it's like I don't know, they're totally different genres, but I mean, I didn't think it didn't work. It just wasn't. I'm not a huge Sam Carter fan in general. His style of screaming is it's unique for sure. I just don't get it as much, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't care for the future. I think a lot of people who probably like Neck Deep aren't that interested in that either. I don't know.
It's an odd combo for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. Next track is Critical Mistake, kind of a breakup song kind of vibes. I like the variety. At least it's got more like acoustic guitar, and this is just another fun kind of pretty light and breezy song.
Yeah, you gotta love the song that starts with the voicemail.
The voicemail.
I actually don't mind that. I don't mind
it.
that trope, but it's become such a meme that I think that like from here on out, it can't really be done.
Probably can't be done anymore.
A little bit goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, this is definitely one of my favorites on the album. It's got good energy. It's fun. The guitar riff is simple, but it's fun. It's good.
Next track is Wish You Were Here. This is the emotional powerhouse of the record. This is, a lot of this record has to do with death, and I like that a lot about this record. I think it's interesting to have that kind of theme running through. And I think that's probably how they got to the nuclear imagery of that. It's like the end kind of imagery. Same, Anyways, the lead singer's dad, I believe, died during or pretty soon before making this record, so a lot of the songs are based on that, and that's where this song comes from, of just, and a lot of people understand this. It's such a simple thing of just wishing someone who's no longer alive was here with you now, and it's really effective at capturing that emotion.
Yeah, wow, that definitely adds a whole new layer to the song that had happened. And just while you were talking there for a second, I was starting to think that a lot of the themes on this record are very similar to the Great Depression by As It Is. Like, very retro,
Yeah.
of like and like about war, but also about death. And so I just kind of pieced that together. But for anyone who's been listening to this show for a while, you know that we're a sucker for acoustic songs. And this one is a really sad and nostalgic song that feels like anyone, no matter what type of music you listen to, you can sit and just cry to this song. So this is my top pick for this album. This is the best one on here, I think. It's not only catchy, but the lyrics are really meaningful and emotional.
Yeah, I probably agree. I think anyone, it doesn't matter if you like pop punk or what, it just sounds like an acoustic, emotional song. And I love when a band is willing to just make a song that is just for anybody and just isn't beholden to one genre. I mean, he's still singing in that same voice because that's just how he sings, but it doesn't really come across as, this is a pop punk song. This is just a good emotional acoustic song, and I think it's got the most streams. I think a lot of people relate and just kind of can get lost in the feels. I know any people I've shown this to have probably gravitated towards this song.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is some artists want to make music in the genre that they're in, and they want to stick to that.
Yeah.
Because that's what
so
sells,
like further than in
mark?
that genre.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know, but like I think that bands that are willing to just make songs that they like and enjoy are the best, because it doesn't matter what sound it has. Even if the main record, as a whole is like one sound, it doesn't, you can stray, you can go wherever you want, wherever the music takes you. I think that's what makes a good band.
Yeah, I think I like personally liking an artist for like their ability to make good songs, good melodies, good lyrics, and have that like a character that you like, but not necessarily one sound. They can make any kind of music, any kind of sound, and they just surprise me. And I think that's my favorite artists, are able to do that, and that's what I like about that. I don't want just the same song over and over. I want to just see what they are going to create. What are they going to give me? Because they are artists.
Yeah, as like a quick example, like I used to really love the band Memphis Mayfire. I thought that, their albums were really interesting and unique. And then like as they kept putting out records, it felt like they were just like, we're the mainstream metalcore band, and that's what we're doing. We do this type of song, and they never strayed from it. And even though their newest record is by far their most well-produced and interesting sounding, I don't like it because it's like, it's just the same thing over and over. Yep. So you gotta experiment. You gotta just go where the music takes you, I think.
Yeah, I agree. The next track is Heavy Lies. This is, I don't have too much to say about it. It's kind of a similar song that we've heard before, just another set of good melodies, and I think that's what keeps this album from getting boring, is it does have catchy melodies and makes the songs unique, and sometimes that can kind of save you.
Yeah, this song kind of about feeling done with the fakeness and the facades everyone's putting up, and just asking this one person to just kind of drop it all and be truthful. I didn't really like the chorus that much on this one. Something about the melody just didn't latch on with me. It wasn't as catchy as some of the other ones we've had.
No, 100%. I agree. Next track is 1970-something. I like this song. I think it's so unique and fun. It's to continue that theme and talking about losing his dad, and it's kind of from the perspective of his dad and relationship with, like, his mom and being young and getting married, and it just kind of leads you through this journey, and then kind of ends with him consoling his mother about losing their dad. I think it's really effective in telling a story. I like when a song is willing to just full commit to telling a story and it has a payoff, and you can kind of get lost in the world of a song for 3 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely remember you showing this one to me when we were kids. It's very familiar to me, even though I haven't listened to it in years.
Mm-hmm.
This song kind of reminds me of the band The Somerset. I don't know if you get that feel.
Yeah.
But I just like the way that it paints a picture of a story that the audience can follow along to. It's a ride for sure.
Next track is the final track. It's Where Do We Go When We Go? Kind of closes out the theme of death. It's really as simple as the title. It's just talking about how do we know what's going to happen after we die, and just kind of contemplates on facing that, unknown.
Yeah, I definitely dig the nursery rhyme part in it. It doesn't take it to the cringy extent that the band's like Set It Off does.
Yeah.
The title of the song brings us back to the very first song on the record, where he asks a ghost in his house, "Where do we go when we go?" And the ghost replies, "Life is the great unknown." And as we're closing this out and we've talked about it a little bit more, I'm almost wondering if that ghost he's talking about is his dad, kind of sitting talking to his dad after he's passed and contemplating life and death. So I really liked this closer. I thought it really brought it all together.
Yeah, it works really well. It's just closing out that theme, and yeah, I've always been impressed at this record's ability to carry that theme through, and not a lot of artists even make that attempt, and I just think it was cool and worked here.
I agree. So yeah, how do you feel about this record after talking about it track by track?
I mean, I'm definitely moved on a bit. I mean, it's from 2017, just from a different era in life. I don't listen to it very much, but when it comes on, I know all the tracks, and I've listened to them plenty of times and jammed out to them. I still think it's a solid record, and I've liked a lot of what Neck Deep's done, and I think they've done some really good stuff since then. Should we talk about them again?
Yeah, we usually start off our reviews by talking about the album as a whole, and we do the same thing as we end it. And I've often wondered if we should stop doing that, but the reason I keep wanting to do it is because sometimes, like this time, when we talk about the album together, it means something new to me.
Yeah, we kind of learn from each other and kind of figure out new things along the way. I agree, but although sometimes at the end I feel like I don't have too much to say, but I agree. Sometimes I definitely feel like I've learned a lot just going through this year.
Yeah, I feel like I understand the themes better with the context you've given me and the lines we've talked about. So I just enjoy this one for being something that I can listen to all the way through and feel like I got something out of it instead of just a bunch of songs,
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you for listening to our review of Neck Deep's The Peace and the Panic. We'll have a review for you coming up next week as well, so stay tuned, and we'll see you later.